Hey yo! Welcome to the Arts Block Podcast for artists, by artists. We can talk about anything that we want. Give it up from Ep.3 W, ladies and gentlemen. Hey yo! Welcome back to another episode of the Arts Block Podcast. I'm your host, Ep.3 W, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I have my first ever famous guest. This is my first ever famous guest, hopping on the pod. A good friend of mine. Give it up for Cali Sy, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. What's up, guys? It's your girl, Cali. And I'm sitting here with Eric, and he's about to interview me.
Yes. How you moved to LA?
Yes, I did.
How is that?
It is hot here every single day. It is so different from DC. I can definitely tell you that. But it's fun because there's always stuff to do, and a lot of things are reopening really fast.
I seen you just be on the scooters and stuff. You were skateboarding. You look like you living your best life.
No, I do. I am.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
I really am. What inspired the move? Who said, all right, let's just go?
It wasn't clearly my final decision because I had to check in with my parents and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I knew from the age of 8, or when I first started going into the arts, especially in the movies, and how Los Angeles was the place that a lot of people have made it. I definitely wanted to be there, but I also wanted to check in with my parents because my parents, let me tell you something that nobody knows. My mom did not want me to go to Duke. My dad was the one that wanted me to go to Duke, but I ended up going to Duke.
Wait, why didn't she want you to go to Duke?
She wanted me to be an accountant like her. She wanted me to follow kind of in her footsteps.
Oh.
Also, I don't know what I was doing when I was younger. I couldn't sing. It was bad. But then, when you get older, your voice matures more, and then I got better at that, and it was so fun for me to sing that inspired me. I inspired myself and all the people that I look up to move to LA. So I was very happy to do that.
But the crazy part is you're not even singing any. I don't know if you're not singing anymore, but you're not going to school for singing. You're going to theater.
I am going to school for theater. That has always been top priority for me. Mm-hmm. And then I had vocal right under that. But I did go to Duke last year, as you know, for vocal, and I felt like that really wasn't for me. So then I went to this school in LA for theater, but I am still doing vocal. I actually have a lot of unreleased songs that I'm going to get out very soon.
New music.
Finally, it's been almost a year with the free.
I'm tired of bumping Young Love.
Oh my God, I am too. My mom does it every single day.
I need something new in my life.
I got you. Y'all are gonna love this. Y'all are gonna love it.
Is there a project or something coming out?
Oh yes. So I'm working on my EP right now, but I had a lot of setbacks because the studios that I love to go to were all full during quarantine. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of artists wanted to get a lot of music out during quarantine.
Yeah.
And I couldn't produce it myself from my own home without it sounding exactly how I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm. Man. So you're out in LA, you're doing your theater thing. How you like it? How you like doing the theater thing out in LA?
I think it's really different. It was very easy for me to transfer from vocal to theater because theater is something that I love doing. That's my passion. So it was really easy, but it's hard making friends and making connection with a lot of people over Zoom. It's really hard, last year you got to make those connections because, you were in person for most of the year. Mm-hmm. And you can build a family. Although I know that we're a family here, it's not like I can talk to them in person, I can give them a hug. That's basically the challenge that I'm going through, but I love it over here in theater.
I feel like that there are way more better opportunities out in LA than there are in DC. So I'm happy. This is great for you. I'm really happy for you. I seen that you moved and I was like, oh.
I know. I didn't tell anybody for a little while. I didn't tell anybody, and then everybody found out on my Instagram.
Yeah, it was I looked. I was like, oh, she moved. But she didn't move just anywhere. She moved to LA. That's a big move. That's a huge step. So are
Yes.
you planning to like just stay out there for like forever, or you want like?
My plan is to go to college out here.
Mhm.
Uh, I do want to go to college. That's something I've always wanted to pursue. But if that doesn't happen, hopefully I will have a stable income for me to keep
Mhm.
myself grounded. That's the only thing I really want to do. College is a question in the back of my mind, depending on how successful I get. I
Mhm.
will not go to college if I'm too successful, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If I'm already like up here, I feel
Mhm.
like there's no need for me to go back, but I do want to go back because I want that experience and I
Mhm.
definitely want to like gain more knowledge.
Mhm. Man, this is crazy. I never had personally had like a friend that like moved to a different state. So this is new for me. And you're famous. You're like your song. You laughing, but I'm being so serious. Like your song was played on the radio. You won that radio little contest thing. You won how many times you won that? You won that like 3-4 times. You won that a lot of times.
Yeah, I was 4 times. Yeah.
You how does that feel? Like what's that feeling?
At first, I was very nervous to drop my song because I really did in the beginning of all this. I really cared about everyone's opinions, and it was hard to like try to do something where this world is so biased. Like everyone's so biased to their opinion. So at first it was really hard for me, but then once I like saw like especially at school, I saw so many people love what I was doing. They didn't tell me to stop. They were so encouraging, just like you. It really encouraged me to be a better person and a better artist by seeing other people that I look up to and other people telling me that I can do it.
Man, that's man. Well, I feel like that's just the environment of Duke
Hmm.
because we just understand each other as artists.
Right.
So we just know like if this is what you want to do, then I'm gonna support you to the fullest, right?
Hmm.
And I also seen on your Instagram that you got to meet Lil Bacon Bear. How was that?
So, little bacon bear. Okay, we call each other twins because we kind of like our hair. When my hair is done, it actually looks like her hair. But most of the time, I'm like rushing out the house or like rushing into school, so I don't even begin to do that. But Bacon is so amazing. She is so nice. She is like pure. Like she is funny. She's like this natural person that I would, if I was her age, like we would definitely be like big friends. But I'm very like she looks younger than she is. Like she looks our age, but she's
Mhm.
in her 20s.
Man, you're doing big things, like huge things. Out in LA, have you tried In-N-Out yet?
I, my honest opinion on In and Out. Okay, maybe it was the one that I went to, but I was not feeling it. Cause in Sam and Cat, was it in Sam and Cat the
Yeah,
show?
I think so.
Like, everyone was like fiending for In and Out. Actually, they're pretty good. It just could have been the one that I went to where I was like, no.
So wow, I wasn't expecting that answer because I feel like everybody from LA they fiend over In-N-Out. Like, oh,
Dude,
In-N-Out, it's so good. Oh, In-N-Out, you gotta go.
I
But
don't even know. Maybe it could be just an LA thing, but um, McDonald's fries be hitting different over In and Out. I can say that for a fact. They definitely do. But I do love In and Out though. It just could have been the one that I went to because I went to a different one and that burger was definitely hitting.
um, do you miss DC at all? Like, do you miss here?
Um, I definitely do. I miss the people.
Mhm.
I don't say that I miss the opportunities that I was getting there because I felt so limited. But here I feel like I got a bigger ground, like I can take over. But in DC, it felt like I was subjected to one thing that I kind of had to do, like limitations onto what your career path could be, which is why I'm very inspired by Taraji P. Henson because came from the same place that we came from,
Yeah,
but actually made it.
yeah. Do you do you feel like you'll ever take that next step in your career where you be like, okay, like I am doing acting, but this singing thing is really taking off. How about do I ever just like focus on the singing, or okay, this acting thing is really taking off. Maybe I'll just focus on the acting and leave the singing behind. Do you ever feel like you'll ever reach that point?
I do. It's about priorities, and I'm trying to prioritize a lot right now, being a young student and like an artist at the same time. Everyone, it's hard, especially going to an art school like you and I. It is pretty hard to like manage all of that, but I do feel like once I hit that point, I am still gonna like. That's why I'm trying to make a lot of music now, so I
Mhm.
can focus on the acting, but I can still produce music while I'm like that. But I definitely feel like I will take a leap year or a leap few years from music and then go back up to the music, or take it, and reverse it for acting.
Okay. And granted, you haven't been inside of your school yet, or have you?
I have. Well, that was for auditions. I didn't really get like a tour or anything, so you can
Oh,
finish.
oh, okay. So you haven't really had you haven't had any classes inside your new school, so you can't really compare. But how do you feel like this school is different from Duke?
Let me just say, Duke is a huge, huge school compared to this school.
Hmm.
Is grand. Duke is more beautiful than this school, and I can definitely say that. But this new school that I'm going to, it is smaller. It is on a college campus, Cal State, LA. It is on Cal State,
Hmm.
and it is smaller. We have a lot of students in a smaller space, which is actually part of the reason why we can't go back until they open the college campus, because we're also taking classes on the college campus.
Hmm.
But I can definitely say that Duke has a higher ground, but this school definitely has more opportunities because the place that we're in. But I can tell you this, that Duke definitely has the advantage by like more famous people coming. Even we're in LA, it's crazy because you know how everyone like flew out, with Dave Chappelle and Common and
Hmm.
Indiana Reed, which was so, yeah. Yeah, I was so, whew, you remember that day, don't you?
Yeah.
It was awesome, but they don't do that here. Even if we're in here, there's not a lot of guest speakers that you would know like on the mainstream coming to our school.
Hmm.
Versus Duke, they set something aside and we get to see Common and Dave Chappelle and interact with them.
Does your school set you up with opportunities though? Set you up with opportunities outside of school? Like, oh yeah, this place is holding an audition for this role. Does your school do that or not?
There is, I can say, within the school,
Hmm.
there is a platform for you to submit your headshot. This is for like student films and stuff like that, but I don't know until school starts whether we'll do more auditions, because the industry has like had a setback, definitely has had a setback. And now we're doing more self-tape auditions, which is kind of hard for my school to like get grafted everything. But I can say there are some opportunities that they want us to get, but they're also preparing us to get more opportunities for when we're older, which is the thing I really don't get.
Man, COVID sucks, bro.
Oh my, I'm telling you.
COVID sucks. And it's trash that you can't like really live out this whole experience in a whole nother school in a whole nother state. That sucks.
It does. I was so excited, especially at the beginning of the year when I got accepted into school. And I was telling you guys, I was like, "Oh my God, y'all, we about to get big." And then I get here, and it's like, "What am I gonna do now?" But I am doing some auditions, which is
Mhm.
also really good.
That's great. What are you auditioning for?
I'm not really supposed to talk about the project, but
Oh,
I can say there are going to be a few episodes. It's a series of the new Percy Jackson.
oh, we about to go up.
One day, one day.
We about to
But
go
those
up.
are rumors, so I can't say whether it's true or not.
Mhm.
We're still working on the project.
Do you feel overwhelmed being in LA? Like, is it very overwhelming seeing all those people?
In the beginning, when I first found out like about the school and how I was moving here, I got so nervous because there's so many people here wanting the same thing. Like, the competition is shook. The
Mhm.
competition is really shook. And in DC, the opportunities weren't, up here. So it was like everyone was kind of grounded. But here, it's like you're fighting for the same thing and you cannot give up, which was kind of hard for me. Because, I'm so used to everyone saying yes, where now I have to get used to people saying no to me, and it's really hard. Like I can't cry on every single no that I get. I have to keep going to get that final yes. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's overwhelming for me right now.
Yeah. And just like being in LA and just like the environment that you are around, just like all like the stores and the people and like how I never been, but just like what I've heard, like it moves very fast paced from where we are from. How is that? Like how are you getting adjusted to that?
Man, even the cars move faster. Everything is just fast. It's like, oh, how can I put this? It's like when you're from somewhere where everything is going like at a constant rate, it's easier for you to do it in a similar place with the constant rate. But here, it's like you're here one day, but you're up here one day, but you can be down one day. Like your emotions also change with the pace of how the world is going. And you could say in one day, you can have like a gazillion emotions because you don't know what's going to happen next. But I could say in DC, you do know what's coming for you in the next few days. But here it's like, okay, if I get this audition, can I do something else? Or if I get this audition the same day, can I memorize my lines in the same night?
How have you said that like emotions can change? How have your emotions been changing like from the move and from you being in a different environment?
So I realized that I couldn't see all of my friends because I was gonna have a party before I went
Yeah.
because I wanted to see everyone, but I did cry because I was so angry and sad at the fact that I couldn't see everybody. And I was so mad because, I wanted to say my final goodbyes to you guys, and I still want to do that. So those were part of the emotions, but as soon as I got here, I felt like I was so much happier and like I was in a place where I knew it was for me.
Mm. Wow, that's crazy. You just knew you were supposed to be there.
I definitely knew from like the first moment, like I saw the big Hollywood sign on TV. I saw the trees. I saw everything. I felt like this was the place for me. And a lot of people didn't understand it at first. Like my parents were like, "What? We're from DC. Why do you want to go to LA? Go for college." But what they don't understand is going for college isn't really going to give me more opportunities than I can get right now. So you don't have to start early, but it is good to start early.
And it's great that you're already like networking and reaching out, auditioning, doing all this different stuff. That's really great. But do you feel like that you're like getting in this business too early? Like how do you feel about like you all this stuff?
I can say in the beginning, I thought it was all happening so fast.
Hmm.
But really, I've been at this for 3 years and I feel like it's happening slow. But that's where a part of time management comes in and how I have to take my time. And I'm not going to get every audition that I get. I'm not going to jump to something so fast when I know I have to be slower. Like an audition that I felt like I wasn't prepared for last week, I didn't do it because if you can't put your best forward, then don't do it if you can't put your best forward. But I have been here. This is my second week here, and I've already done 3 auditions, which is actually pretty good for me to be so stressed out, but I still wanted to monopolize everything.
Do you want to wait, hold on, before I even ask that question, like you know how a lot of people like say, "Oh, if you're like how a lot of older people say, young people think if they're not successful by 23, they're failing, right?" And I know how you're in Hollywood and how young like the age of people getting famous is going younger and younger and younger. So do you feel as if there's pressure on you to like be big as soon as you pop off, or are you just taking it slow?
I, I actually do feel a little bit because I feel like I'll be letting my family down.
Mm.
Even when they say, you can never let us down. It's like I moved here. I'm spending money to be here. Everyone put something on the line for me to be here. So I feel like I have to be successful, but I don't have to do it by 23 because no matter what I do, my family will not be like dissatisfied But when I do, they won't be unsatisfied because I do have another career path. You should always have a backup plan. So I do have that so I can be successful in life. So not necessarily by 23, but when I feel like I'm ready.
What's the backup plan? If you don't
Um,
mind me asking.
let's see. Well, I have a few, but I do want to go into engineering. I haven't really found math as my strong suit,
Mm-hmm.
but um, I do have to focus on that. Um, I do want to make sure I get math back on the mainstream because I do love math, but sometimes I feel like it's overwhelming because there's so much that I felt like you don't need. But in the career paths that I'm taking, I feel like I do need to have a backup plan, and everyone should have a backup plan. So we have the engineering, and I also would love to be a vet because everyone knows I love freaking animals. Like any animal you could possibly, I would love. And my favorite animal is an axolotl. Do you know what that is?
Mm-mm.
An axolotl is basically like a salamander from Mexico, and you got to look it up. They're so cute.
A vet and an engineer. I ask people that a lot just to see because everybody's so different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I talk to a lot of people, and every answer I get with like, okay, this isn't like this. What if your career choice? What if Plan A doesn't work? What is going to be Plan B? And everybody's so different, and it's just such a fascinating question, and just how everybody and everything is so different. Hey yo, sorry we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we are back. Um, Cali, yes or no question, and you already did answer this question, but I'm just making confirmation. Did you or did you not go to Duke Ellington School of the Arts?
Can you please repeat the question?
Did you or did you not go to Duke Ellington School of the Arts?
Well, let's think about this. Yes, I went to Duke Ellington School of the Art.
Okay. Oh, wow, you didn't need to get aggressive. Calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the nine. Did not need to get aggressive. Um, I need your honest opinions about the school. Now, if you start capping, I'm gonna call you out on it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm not.
That's all I'm gonna say. If you start
I'm
capping,
not
I'm gonna
gonna
call you out on
lie.
it. But go ahead. Your honest
Should I
opinions.
start with? Should I do like departments, like one by one, or should I just?
Hey, do it. Do whatever makes
Okay.
you do whatever
Okay.
makes you
So
happy.
let's see. Let's start with museum studies. Because nobody really. Okay, museum studies. That department. The people in that department are like most likely kind of weird. not even. I'm not even gonna lie. No. Okay. Museum studies in VA. They're kind of like weird, but weird in a good way. They're just different. Like that's what makes them pop.
Mhm.
So they're actually pretty nice. So now let's go to LMC. LMC, the people in LMC, apparently they write a lot. I can definitely say people in LMC are chill. It's a lot of rappers in LMC. I'm not even gonna
Mhm.
lie. Like,
For sure.
it's a lot of people who also think they could rap in LMC.
Hey yo.
Not calling.
Hey
Not calling
yo.
anybody out, not calling anybody out. But I have made a lot of connections with people in LMC. Like most
Mhm.
likely, if we're really cool, we're in LMC. If we write together, you're in LMC.
Mhm.
So let's go to the next department. Let's start. You're not even instrumental. Instrumental.
All
I
right.
can definitely say that some of the cutest dudes are in instrumental.
That's what a lot of girls say.
Yeah, because that's true, and not because I dated someone instrumental. Um, it's just a known fact. It's just a known fact. No offense to theater. Okay, but anyway, so after instrumental, they're actually chill. But most likely, if you're an instrumental, you got a lot of energy. Like you literally have a lot of energy for what? Now let's go to theater.
Hey, wait,
Hey,
wait,
theater
wait, wait, wait,
kids.
hold on, wait. Before you say what you were about to say, you've been having a lot of hot takes.
No.
The past few months was a lot of hot takes. There's a lot of
What?
theater,
What?
there's a lot of theater kids that watch that listen
I
to this
know, I know.
podcast.
Okay, so, but I love the theater kids. Y'all already know, like, I love how the theater kids, like, they have their own family. Like, they don't disclude people, like, just because they're different. Because all of the theater kids are different in their own freaking way. Like, y'all are all, we're all weird. But it's like how they can form a family. Theater kids last year, y'all were crazy. Y'all really riled up. Y'all
Mhm.
performances went off, especially the Panini one.
Oh,
Yes,
oh
yes.
Lord.
Panini was that was the joint right there. So I'm gonna keep it short with the theater because y'all watch this and I love theater kids, so you know. So let's move on to vocal. So I got a lot to say about vocal because I was in vocal.
Oh.
Um, I'm not even gonna say unorganized, but a lot happened in vocal, and most of my problems were just vocal. It was a lot going on about the teachers, the controversy between the students like younger ones with seniors and problems, sophomores. It was a lot going on where we weren't even focusing on our craft, which is so frustrating. We had one show. The show was pretty good. Everyone was yelling at us the whole time. Freshmen barely got to do anything, clearly because all the freshmen,
Mhm.
sophomore year is basically where you get to, get your shine, get your spotlight. But in vocal, I feel like I was not getting what I needed to do my craft. Now, when we broke out in groups, it was much easier, but I felt like a lot of people weren't focused. Like they got into the school, but that doesn't mean you have to stay in the school. That doesn't mean you're going to stay in the school. And I think that's a lot of stuff that people didn't get because you either get kicked out or you leave. And a lot of students left this year. A lot of our class left this year.
I know.
And I'm not surprised. Hmm.
I'm not surprised either, because it's a lot of stuff that do go on, and I can like see how some people just like lose like the love that they did have for their art going here,
Hmm.
and it's just not for everybody.
Hmm. And a lot of people wanted a homecoming too. I'm gonna put that out there, because everyone experienced like high school. They imagine like, oh my God, homecoming, winning homecoming
But we
queen.
don't have a
Um,
sports team.
exactly. So
we
we
don't have
don't
a, we
get
don't have a,
to,
sport,
we
we
do
don't have a
not get to
sports
have
team.
homecomings. Like we don't get to get lit. And you remember the party that we had, like the silent disco? Oh my
I
gosh,
didn't go.
you're lucky. You're so lucky. It was the most boring thing ever. Like it was just a mess.
Wow, hot takes.
Yeah,
Really hot
they knew
takes.
it was coming.
This is my third. I feel like you are the only person that did this because you don't go no more. This is my third episode, and my
Uh,
first two guests did not have these hot of takes. These are some.
they about to come for me. They were about to come for me.
These are
But you told me to be honest. But I did. Duke is actually a really good school. If you're staying focused in your craft and you know that you love it, then go to Duke because you're going to get that hard work and dedication. Theater. Y'all know that
Mhm,
y'all have high expectations.
mhm. Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. Wow. I'm speechless. I don't even. I forgot my I forgot my next question. It's- um.
I'm spilling all the tea. Spilling all the tea.
But like you say, you do have a lot of friends there. Do you regret going there? Do you regret like because those were some really hot takes? Do you regret going there? Do you regret
I
anything
do
you
not
did?
regret going to Duke because I got to see one art school and now I get to see another art school. But the one thing I did love about Duke was we're all, no matter what falling out we had,
Hmm.
like with like dance and
Hmm.
vocal, no matter what happened, we were all still a family. No
Hmm.
matter what, we all stick together. Everybody in each department, even if somebody didn't like somebody or we had a grudge, we were still all a family. And at the end of the day, we got together, we had fun together, and that's the unionship that I feel like this school might not have because the competition is so high here. Where it's like, do you trust this person? Do you trust this person? But at Duke, even if you can't trust the person, you're still a family, and you're going to respect one another because you're in the same space.
Do you are you looking at it as a competition now? Like, are you starting to like have that mindset that everything's a competition? Because I remember in theater they were telling us that in the beginning of theater, and me and like some of my friends, we realized that not everything has to be a competition. We can all mutually respect each other and
Right.
mutually work with each other, and it
Mm-hmm.
does not have to be a competition. Are you starting
Right.
to like see it as like, okay, I'm competing with you, and you?
So the way I see it is, um, I always come in with a positive mindset, but a lot of people don't come in with a positive mindset, and they come in with the mindset like, oh yeah, I'm competing with her. If I don't get it, then I'm gonna hate her forever.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to come in with the same not hate anyone, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to come in with a similar mindset where we're going for the same role. I'm not gonna hate you, but I come in with the mindset as I'm going to get this. I'm not going to put someone else down because I don't get the role, because at the end of the day, your time is coming, and it might not be that one, but
Mm-hmm.
your time is coming, and you have to respect that. Don't try to rush everything.
Man, this is this has been a really interesting episode. This has been a really
Yes.
interesting episode. I'm glad you came last minute. This has been great. But before we hop off on here, I just want to know, this is a question, segment name is still in the works, but this is a question I'm going to ask everybody that comes on this show. This is a show for artists by artists. So I just want to know, who is your favorite artist that inspires you? It can be in acting, music, drawing, it can be whatever.
Okay. I do look up to Viola Davis,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I do look up to, I think, her, Anika Noli Rose.
Mm-hmm.
The one who plays Tiana.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I looked at a lot of her work. I looked at it from the Tyler Perry to Tiana to some recent things, and I can see how she progressed as an artist and a singer. She came in with The Princess and the Frog, and she was also singing with that. But although it was a cartoon, she still had to get everything right that matched the facial expressions
Mm-hmm.
to the last detail that she did. And I've also been studying her for a while, and I can see how she progressed so much as an artist and a person, as well as Viola Davis. From the beginning, I knew that I always loved her. Like, she always kept this attitude, and you could see how devoted that she was to acting. You could see in every facial expression, in every line, in everything that she did, she wanted to be there.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, Cali, thank you so much. This has been a great episode. A very had a lot of hot takes in this episode. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on the podcast. Anything you want to promote, push out, anything?
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it here. I'm glad I got to talk to you because, we haven't talked in a while. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for letting me come on here. I didn't even know what to say. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for believing me as a friend. Thank
Oh,
you
no
so
problem, no
much.
problem, no problem.
Yeah, go follow my socials, guys, at Cali Sy on Instagram.
Mhm.
And, that's the same for all of my socials. So
All
thank you.
right. That's it for this week's episode of the Arts Block Podcast. You can follow me at Eric Curry III. You can follow the podcast at the Arts Block Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, turn on them post notifications so you can be notified when the next episode comes out. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star rating for me, please. Remember that artists never die, and we are out.